Hello, I'm Heidi Herriott, and I'm happy you're here. I look forward to working with you to help you train your horse to do tricks. Now, by now, you should have read everything you need to know to get started with your horse. Your horse will need general manners and behavior and some sort of fundamental training and groundwork. So if you're ready to get started, that's great. If you need to go back and do that, go ahead and do that. It is important. Otherwise, our trick horse training would be ineffective, not to mention dangerous. So go ahead, get your horse schooled on those things, come back and join us. I'll be here when you're ready. Okay, so let's talk about the tools and tack that you're going to need to get started. The first thing you're going to want to have is a webbing halter. The old-fashioned webbing halter, a lot of folks are using rope halters now, and they're wonderful. But for our purposes, we'd love it if you can get your hands on a webbing halter, because we are going to be hooking into the sides with the reins at different times. You're also going to need a lead rope. About 4 feet is just about right. Good snap on the end. A soft rolled cotton is wonderful. It's easy on the hands. Now, I don't want you to go out and break the bank to buy any of this stuff. Hopefully you have most of it in your barn, or you can borrow it from a friend getting started to train your trick horse. You'll also need a bridle with a snaffle bit, just a basic snaffle bit. If you have a little curb strap on it, that's wonderful. It keeps it from sliding around their mouth. We will also want a nice set of reins. Now, ideally, these reins are going to have little snaps right on the end of them, because we are going to take the reins from the bridle to the halter at different times in our training. So these work really well, not too long. If you have the western side reins, that'll work. Just put a couple snaps on the end of them. We're going to need a hobble. We need an individual hobble just like this one. A lot of hobbles that you buy are hooked together. So you're going to have to snip that, take them apart. We're going to need one hobble with a nice ring on it, just a little padding that'll go right around the horse's ankle. We're going to use this quite a bit. So one little hobble. You're going to need a nice lunge line. About 10 feet is good. Again, a soft cotton, a webbing lunge line will work as well. Make sure you have a snap, a nice heavy snap on the end of it. And along with that, you're probably going to want a pair of gloves. There's different times that our training, this is optional, but if you have a good pair of gloves, you'll want to keep those handy. Let's talk about treats. And somebody just whinnied when they heard that one. Well, we use treats in training our horses, so you want to have some kind of a little pack. It's better than reaching in your pocket each and every time. A little fanny pack. Okay, I know I have the treats. Everybody's excited. A little fanny pack works great. An old purse over your side. Anything like that that you could keep the horse from just sticking their nose right into. Now, my horses happen to like peppermint treats, but I also like to train with alfalfa cubes. I find those a great way to train and not very expensive, and the horses enjoy those as well. As far as our whips, we're going to start out needing 2 whips. The first is the little dressage whip. Now, if you have a riding crop, you can use that, but a dressage whip is actually usually just a little bit longer, about 3 feet. That'll work great for a lot of the stuff that we're going to be working on. And then a lunge whip or a lash whip. Now, if you have a carrot stick or the stick and string from some of the clinicians, go ahead and use those, that's fine. Again, I don't want you to have to rush out and buy stuff. If you're going to purchase something, though, I would recommend this type of a lash whip. And when we get a little bit more into lunging and round penning, when we're having some fun with that, this will serve you well. And some optional items, if you like, an English or a Western saddle. There are times we can use those if you're having some trouble with the bow when we get into that. Those may serve you well. And if you have a set of side reins that'll go from either of those saddles up to the horse's mouth, those will work well for you as well. But again, we don't need them right now. We can get started with just some basic tools, and we can start to train your trick horse. As far as clothing, I like to tell people to wear layers to the barn. That way you don't have to stop, run back up to the house to get a jacket or to put a t-shirt on because it's warmed up a little bit. Also, it's a good idea never to wear a lot of loose clothing around horses. It is a little bit dangerous, and it can spook the horse as well. Now, as far as shoes, we'd love for you to wear a pair of boots. Boots are the preferred footwear at the barn and working with your horse. You can wear tennis shoes. If that's all you have, that'll be fine. Please don't wear flip-flops or Crocs or those type of sandals, because at the moment that you're backing out of your shoes and trying to retrieve them will be the moment that you should be on that horse right there making your cue. So we don't want you to lose precious time or an important moment when you're trying to retrieve your shoes, and you certainly don't want to get stepped on. Now, as far as location, we'd love for you to be working in a round pen with a nice soft dirt, grass, or sand flooring. If you don't have that, a paddock area like we're in right now, about 50 feet square, works well. If you have an arena and you can cordon off half of your arena, that's another great place to work. Some of the tricks we can even train in the center of the barn. I know some of you may be up in the winter and trying to have some fun with your horse indoors. The one place I'd caution you not to work with your horse is in a stall. There's too many opportunities where if the horse gets nervous, you could get pushed against the stall and you could get hurt. And again, principles of training, safety first. So we really don't want you to be in the stall. But in the center of the barn will work if that's the only place you have, other than the bow right now, that'll work for you. Now as we move forward, I want to remind you to utilize the resources on HorseTrix.com. Of course, the training videos, the printable instructions, but all the other training tips and the different things that we're going to provide for you to help you train your trick horse. They're all there for you on HorseTrix, so refer to it often, go there often, use the resources. I do over 200 shows a year. I know my method is successful, and I know I can help you be a success with your trick horse as well. Now it's important that we also get your feedback as we go through this process. Email us, let us know, go online to our forum. We want to hear your success stories, we want your training questions. We're here to help you, we're here to share your successes. So let's be sure and stay in touch and communicate. And don't forget, we have a wonderful network of members, our fellow tricksters, to help us as well. So I think we've covered everything. We're going to get started training our tricks now. And remember, a 1,000-mile journey begins with just a single step. Happiness is horses.